So the way that I think about my goals personally is I've got my 10-year goals, I've got my 3-year goals, and I've got my 1-year goals. And then I've got my 90 days that I reevaluate everything that I'm working towards. And so the year is in 4 quarters. So there's 4 sets of 90 days. And I set goals for every 90 days that help me get towards where I want to be. And so I make sure that I have a clear vision of who I want, because if you don't have a goal, you're going to miss it every time. So I focus in on exactly who I want to be, what that looks like, what that feels like, who surrounds me, what I want there. And then I reevaluate every 90 days. Did that get me closer to my goal? Am I making actions and am I living day to day habits that are getting me closer to that? Or do I need to readjust and pivot and get closer to someone else? Or have I learned something new and did my goals shift and change? Did they grow and expand? Or so that's kind of that's how I look at it. So every 90 days, every quarter, I do a full evaluation of where I am, where I want to be, and then a plan for the next 90 days.
If you don't mind me asking, what is something on your 90 days that you've got right now?
Sure. An easy one to talk about, because that is a personal question of who you want to be. But an easy one to talk about is, I think, fitness goals. And so the next 90 days, I want to focus more on working out more consistently and making that a daily practice versus just a few times a week, which is where I can appreciate how the baseline has shifted from where I was, but where I want to be is these more extreme, more rigorous workouts, being able to accomplish more physically. And so that's something that I look forward to. And specifically, my goal is to get into a handstand, which I know sounds like maybe silly, but there's so much strength and like work that goes into getting into a handstand. And so that is what I'm working towards. I don't know if it will happen in 90 days or a couple years, but it will happen. You heard it here first.
That's awesome. Handstands are hard. You're working your wrist mobility. You're talking about shoulder strength, core strength, balance. There's everything in that. Something I thought was cool that you said there was like a plan or a goal without planning. Nothing's going to happen. There's a quote I love that I throw at people every once in a while, and it's a goal without a plan is just wishing or
Yeah,
dreaming. I can't remember which word they used, but it's not a thing. It's just, hey, I hope this thing that I want works out. Like that's not a goal anymore.
which is not how goals work, just for the record. You can't just wish something and make it come true. Life isn't the lottery.